Hey guys, welcome to another episode of F1 2021 here on the ChesnoidPlays channel. We are ever closer to the end of Season 2. 3 races to go, and after our, no spoilers, exceptional Grand Prix yesterday, watch the Mexican Grand Prix video. If you haven't yet, please. We are off to Brazil for the next Grand Prix. If you want to avoid spoilers for that Mexican Grand Prix, go and watch it now, because it will get spoiled in the next few minutes live, and even less so watching the video. But we're going to jump into Brazil. It's fully dry all weekend, I believe. At least it was when we loaded the save or went to the race yesterday. Thank you, Duck Next Door, by the way, for a gifted sub for the very first time. It's gone to Zany. Thank you, mate. Very kind of you indeed. Fully dry for the full weekend, although we may start with a little bit of drizzle at the beginning of the race. We're not sure yet. 44% doesn't always mean that there's going to be rain. And even if there is rain, it doesn't always mean that it's going to be wet enough to change to wet weather tyres. So I think it's going to be dry tyre running throughout in Brazil. Now, of course, spoilers incoming. To build on yesterday's victory in Mexico, numero uno! Viva la Mexico! We won! We won a Grand Prix! And Robert came second. Now, his drive is on the line, Robert Schwartzman, because you guys, after yesterday, were saying, keep him on for next year. I'm still leaning towards improving on him. So maybe, if he can pull out 2 more great performances, or even just 1 more great performance in the next 3 races, we will keep Robert Schwartzman as our teammate for next season. We'll wait and see what happens. But we have a trophy for the very first, actually second time. We got a 3rd in Sochi, we got a 1st in Mexico City, and now it's time to head to Sao Paulo. So drop the video a like, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and hopefully we can pull something out in Brazil as well. Okay, so I'm not going to be quick enough. Not going to be quick enough to do the qualifying program one, but we know that we're close to it, and we're about the same pace as our teammate. We finished P8 in practice, and he finishes P7, although Lewis is behind us, as is Charles Leclerc, both on mediums, so we should be putting in a Q3 performance, I hope. But time will tell in quali as to how far we'll actually get. Let's go to quali now, though, and see what resource points we get. Obviously, we're going to have loads to spend at the beginning of Season 3 because we're saving everything. Still no news about regulation changes for the 2nd season. Sorry, for the 3rd season. So it doesn't appear that there's going to be any at this moment in time. So hopefully we could just spend all of our resource points on upgrading the car in every aspect, and we'll be fine next season. We might be able to take a massive jump towards Mercedes. Right, I'm going to try and get through on 1 set if I can. We should be able to do that. The pressure will be on, but we hope to rise to that occasion and get ourselves through to Q2 in 1 go. Only 9/10 up on Giovinazzi. And 9/10 around Brazil is a big gap. One for a 105.1-ish. Maybe a 104. 104.7. 104.7 puts me 9th. Puts me 9th. That should be us through at the first attempt late in the session to the next part of qualifying. Gain time all the way up the hill, please. Right, I said we probably need a 104.5-ish to get us into the next session. We've done a 104.59. Puts me P7 at the moment. P7 at the moment, but is it going to be enough to see us through to Q3 or not? We will find out momentarily. Currently P7. Now P8. I think we dropped to P10. We did. We're through to Q3 just. To be fair, we're only 0.005 of a second slower than Seb, but we are through to Q3. Both Mercedes, both McLarens, both Red Bulls, and 1 of the Aston Martins are through. Lance Stroll out in 15th. Robert out in 12th. But we get to go again. This is probably the most balanced setup I've ever had around Brazil. The first lap is a 1:05.1, but obviously that's on this incredibly worn set. We know we can put in a 1:04.4, but I don't think I can go any faster than that. So really, I'm not thinking we'll qualify any higher than 9th. Only 0.03 of a second slower than Daniel Ricciardo, though. Obviously, they're all going again. We will put in a 1:04.6, which actually keeps me 10th. Get out of the way for Carlos. He can go and do his lap. And we will stay 10th. We will stay 10th. I didn't think I could do anything more than 9th. We hadn't done anything faster than a 1:04.4 all day. And a 1:04.4.
And with qualifying complete,
1:04.4 would have only gotten us 9th. So I'm happy enough with 10th. I'll take that. Single lap pace has never been our strength, has it? Ever. But we have single lap pace. Sorry, we have cracking race pace, as we know. And hopefully tyre wear can be to our advantage again in Brazil. So let's go and figure out our race strategy after we've spoken to Claire.
I'm sure you're pretty happy with that.
Happy enough with 10th.
Did you feel that things went well for you today?
Yeah. Go on then.
What's the secret ingredient for your performance today?
Everything really, but we'll say the aero package.
You won't be starting at the front of the pack. Are you worried?
Nothing worries us.
Appreciate your time.
No worries, Claire. Thank you again. Asking me the questions that I need to get my... Max out qualified us though. To get my sponsor bonuses. So we're drawing the rivalry at the minute with Max Verstappen. Hopefully race pace can put us ahead of the Red Bull. A little bit of changes to overall levels, but not much. We're not close to 15 yet, where we need to be to get the final perks as a driver.
Tough luck there. It's not quite where we'd want to be on the grid.
So it says 44% rain. 44%, sorry, chance of rain heading into the race. I don't believe. Oh.
Formula One returns to Sao Paulo once again.
That changes things. It's going to be a wet start.
Sebastian Vettel famously claimed
it said 44% chance of rain, so I thought it might drizzle a bit, but we'd probably start on dries. But it certainly looks like we'll be starting on inters then. Obviously, we know what the grid looks like really, because we got all the way through to Q3, but we'll see if there are any grid penalties. We were 10th, we start 8th. 2 grid penalties, drivers dropping behind us. Ocon and Stroll, Verstappen drops well behind us. That's good news for us. It will help. Sainz as well takes a grid penalty too. So Sainz and Verstappen are the 2 that have dropped behind us. And for our... Robert took a grid penalty as well. So for our rivalry, it's great that Verstappen's starting so far back. Gives us an advantage to start. But it looks like it's going to be an intermediate beginning of the race, and it certainly is. It certainly is. So we've no idea then what's going to happen in this Grand Prix, because I didn't think we'd be starting in the wet. And the wet weather may last a little while. We'll put 70.5 laps in. We won't get lapped, but hopefully we can... I am nervous about that. I'll put 92 kilos in, 70.7 laps. So that's what we'll do. That's what we'll do there. And then tyre life wise, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. We saved soft tyres, so we could go intermediate, soft, I hope. If tyre wear is going to be an issue, then intermediate, soft, medium, or intermediate... Yeah, I'm going to have to go straight to a soft after the intermediates just to see what they do. And then we can either go to softs again after that or onto mediums at the end, depending on tyre wear. But that will be our strategy. A 1-stop initially in the rain, but it will become a 2-stop after the rain has fallen and dried up. Right, for the prediction then. Yesterday we said, will we finish P6 or higher? We won, starting from P21, although it was a remarkable Grand Prix with almost 10 retirements. We start P8. I'll say P3 or higher. It's going to be brave to ask if we'll finish on the podium or not, but we went brave yesterday and it paid off for those of you that said yes. Smile, thank you for the follow. The prediction is, will we or will we not finish on the podium. I'll have a quick toilet break. Then we'll watch in real life qualifying, which starts in 6 minutes time. Then we'll have the Brazilian Grand Prix. I'll be back in a second. So the plan from the start is to not drive through Sebastian Vettel, but because we've got the inside line into 1, I'm going to try and stay on the inside. Have the inside into 1, outside of 2, but then inside of 3 and inside of 4 if I can stay there. That's the initial plan, but obviously starts aren't my strong point, and we've some quick drivers behind us. So I'm not sure how well this is going to go. Here we go then. Starts aren't my strong point, but we'll try. We've not done bad. Now everybody brakes kind of early for turn 1, especially in the rain. We are up the inside of Seb, but I'm going to have to watch my throttle application to ensure that we don't get too much wheel spin. And around the outside comes Pierre Gasly in P8. I wanted the inside line into turn 4. That's what I've gone for. We dropped to P9 for the time being. Tsunoda's having a look around the outside, but he's not going to make it. And we've held P9. Now we're basically waiting for the dry running, which is when we'll be at our quickest. Hoping we can maybe make a move or two in the meantime. Don't know how long this rain is going to last, though. That's the thing. I'll try and maybe get Gasly up the inside here. No, I'm going to back out. I'm not going to make that. There's Albon and Hamilton all over again. Ocon in my slipstream. No DRS yet, obviously. A, because it's the start of the race, and B, because it's raining. Minute we're pitting lap 35, but the rain will certainly dry up before then. Robert started a long way back, unfortunately, because of grid pens. I think he's made some progress. I think he started 18th, and I think he's made some progress. I'll ask on the run up the hill about Robert.
We're leading our teammate by 3.8 seconds. They're on fresh inters. They're in 16th.
He's made 2 positions.
1:29.6.
He's made 2 positions. Don't really get too much chance to ease off around Brazil. Yes, there's a long, powerful straight, or long, powerful section, but it is curved, so you still have to kind of pay attention. The actual straight bit of the start-finish straight isn't that long. Oh! Held it, but only just. Oh, that was scary. I thought we were a goner there. Jesus. Don't ask me how I held that. I couldn't tell you. Ocon's going for it around the outside.
Behind is 3.8 seconds.
Around the inside, sorry. I'll then have the inside for turn 2, but I'm going to have to back out of it. Otherwise we'll have an Ocon versus Verstappen moment. Paid the price for making that mistake. Having the back end step on me and nearly bin it. I'm very hyper-aware at the moment that the rest of the grid in front of Gasly is disappearing down the road.
Rain, then we think it's going to dry up. 10 minutes.
10 minutes. 10 minutes of the rain. Considering there was only a 44% chance of any rain whatsoever, this downpour, pretty unfortunate really. I just don't feel I can push the car too much in the wet. I'm not a very good wet weather driver. I can just feel the understeer as well, sat behind Esteban.
By about 3/10 a lap.
Okay, I've got a run on Esteban now. It's taken like 13 laps. Oh, I just went purple in sector 1, but he went defensive and made it... Ah, I've just driven into the back of him. Fuck my life. Because I fucked it, I won't try and take him now. That wouldn't be fair. Might have another run on him here. He's not going to go defensive, so I will go aggressive, and we will take the place. If he'd have gone defensive, I'd have tried to go around the outside. He stayed on the racing line, so up the inside we go. And finally, on lap 14, we are past Esteban Ocon. Now Seb is stuck behind Lando, the same way that we were stuck behind the Alpine. But that's a position taken. Now we can get after those in front. The rain has stopped falling. It will be dry soon. You can see just how quickly we're pulling away from Esteban Ocon, just how much extra pace we have in the car, and how much we were getting held held up by him. I've extended the gap to over a second in less than a lap. Set my next tyre 2 softs so we can come in immediately.
We're increasing our gap on the car behind by around a second a lap.
That's how much I've been losing behind Ocon. Gasly's pitting.
A new strategy
Oh,
is
you're
available
kidding
on
me.
FD. Okay, copy that.
They've started to pit literally as I went past the pits.
Robert is in the pits.
Unbelievable. How unlucky could we get? But at least those in front of us that we're trying to catch also weren't able to pit. When I saw Gasly come in, I should have just committed.
Stewards have now enabled DRS. DRS is now online.
When I saw Gasly go in, I should have just committed. That's why I set the tyre too soft. It's my own fault for not being committed and decisive enough. Gasly's just eating time on us hand over fist. Yeah, you're right. Law of averages. Catching up from the last Grand Prix. We got so much luck in the last Grand Prix. But he mentioned it to me as I was passing the pits. It's a good stop at least, 2.1 seconds. But Gasly is now disappeared down the road.
Once now, 1 stop left.
We've lost so much time. We've lost 6 seconds to Gasly. Let's claw that back. At 45, they want me to pit next. They want me to do nearly 30 laps on this set. I am fine with that. If I'd have made that decisive call and just nipped in the pits behind Gasly, we could have really closed the gap on the entire group in front. So annoyed at myself. Properly wasted opportunity. Gasly sets the fastest lap of the race. Thank you, Wayne, for resubscribing for an 8th month, my man. Appreciate it, dude.
Gap to the car ahead is 5.6 seconds. Gap
Matt
to
sets the
teammate
fastest lap
behind
of the
is
Grand Prix. I don't know what I'm doing there.
5.5
Still trying to take a wet line. Right, we need to switch into dry mode. Need to get confident enough to put the throttle pedal down and stick to it. I'm so into this right now, I'm turning my head with the corners. Hopefully Max will struggle to get past Esteban, but I don't think he will. 107.3 from me. Esteban and Max are having a battle now. There's less than half a tenth between them. Max will get him into turn 4, I'm sure of it. They've got actually Lance Stroll right on the back of them as well.
Front is 4.5 seconds.
We are closing on Gasly, but not very quickly. So quick, Pierre Gasly, isn't he? Really quick. I'll ask, actually, Lorenzo. That's a very good point. How is Robert doing after the changeover in tyres?
We're leading our
He was
teammate
16th.
by 8.6 seconds. They're on fresh softs. They're in 16th.
He's still in
Time
16th.
last lap was a 1 minute 8.2. Gap to teammate behind is 8.6 seconds.
Was 16th, still 16th. Who's he stuck behind? Tsunoda, then Ilott, Tsunoda, Ilott, a Ferrari, and then Robert. They're all just stuck there, look, in a group of 4, coming to the bottom right-hand corner of the mini-map. To Gasly now under 3. Can charge quite a bit on a lap around here. I'm getting, yes, DRS range. Good. Hello, Pierre. The cheese has arrived to take your P8, monsieur. We'll get him this lap at the end, on the way up the hill or into turn 1 at the start of the next lap. Thank you for the follow, Hoss. Welcome to the channel, mate. Hi, Pierre. DRSOP, pal. Bye-bye. Hang around the outside, nip up the inside. He'll have DRS now on this part, but I will use my ERS to my advantage to try and stay ahead. Thanks for following, Amari. Which we will be able to do. Right, 6 seconds to Seb. Off we go. Presumably Lando's issue is fixed if he's pulled away from Sebastian Vettel now. Thank you for the bit, Purity. How are you, my man? Glad you enjoyed the Mexico video yesterday, or the Mexico Grand Prix yesterday, and the video today, if you watched it. Pulling out on Gasly though. 1.4 seconds, not 1.3 seconds now. I'm always really slow on the run up the hill, which costs me in the long run, because then you're kind of falling, you're losing time all the way up the hill. All it takes is one mistake and you undo all of your hard work. We're not that much faster than them, so I'm having to drive to the absolute limit to gain by like a tenth or two a lap. You end up making one mistake like that, and it can cost you. It can set you back 1 or 2 laps worth of pushing. I want me to stop on lap 45, so we've got 15 laps to go on this set. They've done about 15 laps already. They are going to be worn.
Try to keep this momentum.
Be curious to know what strategy the others are putting in.
Gap to car in front is 4.9 seconds. They're on old softs. Their tyres are 12 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1:8.1. You're gaining by 0.3 a lap. Good work.
Everybody else is 2-stopping as well. They'll be going soft, the same way that we're going soft. So we don't really have much leeway with strategy to try and bend things in our favour. It's just a case of grinding the laps out, trying to earn as much time as possible and catch them on track.
Seconds.
What's this new strategy option then? We're currently pitting lap 45. It wants me to extend to lap 48. I'll try. 20% on the rear right now as well. And they want me to extend this set another 16 laps. 16 laps. I don't know, boys. I don't know. Yeah, maybe somewhere in the middle. Maybe rather than go from 45 to 48, we pit on like 46 or 47. So currently, Valtteri leads, Lewis second, Sergio Perez is third, Leclerc, Ricardo, Norris, Vettel, myself, Gasly. Max has made some progress. He's looking good for driver of the day at the moment, which is annoying. Ocon, Stroll, Tsunoda's gone backwards from the start. Callum Ilott 2. Robert has gone forward 3 spots, but he's now just kind of stuck behind a quick Sainz, who's stuck behind a slower Ilott and a slower still Tsunoda. And then Lance Stroll, I think, is at the front of that gaggle as well, and they're not able to get past it. No, he's not quite. Lance Stroll is actually right up behind Esteban Ocon now. So whilst we are, quote-unquote, only 8.5 seconds off Lando Norris, we're about 16 seconds off P5. We've had no retirements so far. Everybody's reliability is A-OK, and with minimal opportunity for crashes or mistakes, I don't know how much progress we'll make past potentially Seb, but then I've gone fuck that in an awful first turn. Just undone all of my hard work in the past 2 laps. Verstappen is past Gasly. Verstappen is past Gasly. We're under 3 seconds to Sebastian Vettel now, but that gap to Lando is still 8.5. At the minute, as we approach half race distance, at the minute, P7 looks like the most we can achieve in this Grand Prix without any significant help. Like a safety car. Or a retirement. If only I'd have followed Gasly into the pits, we'd have been 5 or 6 seconds further down the road and I could have been right behind Lando. Or at least as close to Lando as I am to Sebastian now. Checo's in the pits. That's an early stop. Is he going to mediums? Or is he doing an extra stop? It's like Checo's too busy looking at him and not concentrating on what I'm driving. This is why it's so difficult to stream and be interactive with chat and drive to your absolute maximum as well. So I'm always distracted by something. Trying to see what Checo's going to in the top left. Looking in the bottom left to see what he's doing, if he's moving yet. To then check the top left again to try and see if he's changed tyres. To give that information to you. Oh. Whereas if I was just driving on my own, not streaming, I'd just drive and then see what he came out on afterwards and just pause it. Thank you for the follow, Suzuki. Apologies that the first thing you see is a spin by me. But with Checo pitting on lap 35, think it's safe to presume then that he's doing a 3-stopper, not a 2-stopper.
Gap ahead is 2.4
So that
seconds.
could mean, if we see others start to pit, that our tyre wear would help see us gain an extra place or two in this Grand Prix. Because Checo is going to be quick now, but he is 8.7 seconds behind, and we only have 1 stop left to make, whereas he will certainly have 2. None of the other front runners in the pits, though. Nobody else thinking about doing a 3-stop, it seems. Just Sergio Perez. So was that a pit stop for damage? Was that a pit stop for damage for Checo? It was. It was. So Checo isn't by choice doing a 3-stopper. He's picked up damage battling with Charles Leclerc and Daniel Ricciardo, and as such, he's been forced to do the extra stop. So the others are only on a 2-stop. Our tyre wear isn't going to play into our hands quite that well, but Checo, having had that damage and forced into the extra stop, has at least gifted us 1 more position. So now a P6 is looking most likely. Yikes. Checo is past Max and is flying on those new softs. But even at 5/10 a lap, he's not going to catch us before our pit stop, I don't think. If he starts to gain by more than 5/10 a lap, then yes. But at 5/10 a lap, half a second a lap, he won't catch us before our pit stop. If he continues to catch at the current rate. Well, significantly faster than the Aston Martin at the minute, though. Oh, he says as he fucks up at the last corner again. Turn 13 at least. Technically these are the last corners, but still. Max is still right with Checo, though. And the AI aren't particularly good at not fucking their teammates' strategies, so if Max tries to take Checo, it could help us. And they are battling, I think. Yeah, they are, because they just swapped round positions. That's perfectly fine by me. And we are now within DRS range of Sebastian. Concentrate, Ches. Make sure you still are by the time you get to the next DRS zone. So our gearbox is starting to get a little worn, but that's fine. That's what that little orange symbol is for. It's for the gearbox, but that's not a problem. We're not going to have any problems with that at this stage. I think we can change gearbox after this Grand Prix as well, actually. Perez is really hunting us down quickly, yes, which is another reason why I want to get past Seb as quickly as possible to put another car between ourselves and Checo. Hi, Seb. He's gone defensive. Forced me onto the grass a little. He's now slow on the apex. I'm going to get a run on him into turn 4 if I can. He's going to get DRS on that Alfa Romeo, though, annoyingly. No, he's not. Okay. Now, this is going to be dangerous because we're closing on the Alfa Romeo. Oh, I can't quite get past him. I thought Seb was actually going to get past Kimi there. And Kimi was going to let us pass, but he hasn't. Tyre conditions still looking good, supposedly. Now we're getting stuck behind Seb. That gap to Lando's growing again. And we were supposed to pit next lap, but the team have asked me to extend it to lap 48, which I will try and do, but you can see my front tyres are 40% worn right now. And Seb is pitting on lap 44. Do I cover off the undercut? Or do I keep going? Chat, 45 or 48? When do I pit? If Lando pits this lap, I'll pit this lap. Lando's pitting, oh no, Ricciardo's pitting this lap. So now's my chance to undercut Lando a little bit.
Pit in next lap.
What do you mean you can't take me right now?
The pit box is currently full.
No, it's not.
Stay out on track. Confirmed. We'll receive you at the end of this lap.
Thank you. Right, the chance to undercut Lando a little bit, because he's having to stay out for a lap because Daniel pit instead of him. I do think we'll unfortunately lose the place to Seb, or still be significantly behind Seb. There he goes. Seb's going past now.
Pit strategy complete.
So we will lose time to Seb, but we should hopefully be able to get past Seb relatively quickly. And then go after Lando. It cost us 1.8 seconds or so to Seb, because he was only a couple of tenths in front of us as he went into the pits, but it's not the net loss to Sebastian that we're worried about. It's the net gain on Lando. Because he should pit this lap, I imagine. Now, this set of tyres are worn, and Lando is pitting this lap. This set of tyres are worn, but only 6%. They've only done one run, so they should still be pretty damn good. And the question is, how much time can we gain on Lando Norris? We were 8-ish seconds behind. Looks like, if anything, the gap's bloody grown. Oh no, the gap to Lando has come down a little bit. It's come down a little bit. 6.7 now. It was 8. We've gained about 1.2 seconds on Lando. Man, I'm really still annoyed at myself for not pitting when Gasly did, doing the extra lap on the Inters. Cost us so much. It's stuck behind Ocon as well. Cost us a lot. Such is life. Such is Formula 1. On such fine margins, races can be made and lost. Gap to Lando's now up to 7.5. Superb. Lapping the Williams of Latifi now. Hopefully he gets out of the way before the DRS detection point, so Seb doesn't get DRS on him. This is what he's doing. Thank you, Nicholas. Don't get back on the... Why would you get back on the racing line there? What a moron. Cost me DRS on Seb. Sets our race plan back another lap. Lando's now 8 seconds ahead of us again. Yesterday, everything went for us. Today, it just feels like a race that's kind of one of those that could have been. Starting P8, if it had been dry, we would have been super competitive right from the off. But because it was wet, and I don't have much confidence in this car in the wet, we weren't competitive. We got stuck behind Gasly, then we got stuck behind Ocon, then we didn't quite trust our instincts for the pit stop behind Gasly, and that cost us some time. It's just not quite gone our way today. We could genuinely have been challenging. We could genuinely have been challenging for a podium or a P4, but at the minute we're challenging for a P7 because a number of factors have kind of gone against us this weekend. But that's part and parcel of it, I guess. For every race there is that has things that go super for you and really in your favour, like Mexico, like Austria's, there is going to be the race that goes against you, whether it be weather or traffic or your own individual mistakes. Purple Sector 1 is still pacing the car. DRS helps, obviously, but still. Safety car dance would be great, but I don't think it's going to work. It's not really the opportunity for it. Unless someone crashes coming up the hill, there's not really the opportunity for a safety car to be warranted, really. Unless someone crashes up here. Perez is in the pits again, so we're about to take P7 back. And we might be soon about to take P6 as well. We forced Seb into a mistake. Big lock up into turn 1.
You're now in P7. P7.
Yep. I'm hoping to be in P6 soon, Jeff. He's gone defensive, Seb, and then he's drifted back to the racing line, which technically is illegal, but we'll let him off. I do plenty of illegal things in the game. Right, I got a decent run that time. Come here, Seb. Go as defensive as you like. You're not stopping me this time. I've got DRS. It's my position, pal. Get out of the way. Some really hard but fair racing with Sebastian Vettel, but we are through into P6. That has been 30 laps in the making. We've had to grind to make one position over 30 laps. That's how matched for pace we are with a lot of the drivers around us now with the state of the car. That 3-stopper for Sergio Perez might actually still work in his favour. Albeit it will have cost him a potential podium because he was running P3. But it will at least minimise the damage if he can catch up to Seb and myself, which he certainly is doing. We're going to have a very fast Red Bull behind us in the not too distant future. If Seb can put up as much of a fight for P7 as he did for P6, that would be very much appreciated. Otherwise, Sergio Perez is going to come and get me, and he'll take P6 off me. And I don't know as I'll have much to say about it when he gets here. We're over a second away from Seb now, which is good news.
On the car behind by 0.5 per lap.
Still no retirements on lap 57. Everybody's super reliable at the moment. Catching an Alfa Romeo, which will be Gio, and the Haas of Mick Schumacher. Checo may even take him in the next into turn 1. It's going to be close. Seb's gone defensive. Sergio Perez is through behind. Checo up to P7. They're battling still, but I think Checo will get it done. Maybe down this straight instead. The same way that we did. Yep, Sergio Perez is through. Now our P6 is under significant threat. For a large portion of that second stint. Thank you, Gio. For a large portion of that second stint, we were actually closing on Lando. Now he's just quicker than us in this stage of the Grand Prix. This is now quickly turning into Operation Defend from Sergio Perez rather than Operation Attack Lando. Not that it ever really has been Operation Attack Lando since the last pit stop. He's within a second of me. He's got DRS open. And he's fucking flying! We do not have to pit again, no. We're taking this set of tyres to the end. When did you guys find out about your regulation changes in Season 2, by the way? Because we still haven't heard anything about regulation changes this year. Checo will get me now. He's just too fast in that Red Bull with fresher tyres. If he had tyres that were a similar age to me, I reckon I could try and hold him off for the full rest of the race. But because his tyres are that much younger than ours, just not going to be able to do it, I don't think. Could try and stay with him and maybe take him on the line, a la Pierre Gasly and Lewis Hamilton a couple of years ago. I think he's just that much quicker than us that I probably won't be able to stay within DRS range, but I will give it my best shot. I tried to hold on to P6. I could not do it.
Perez ahead. The gap to the car ahead is 1.1 seconds. They're on old softs. Their tyres are 8 laps old. The time last lap was a 1.6.0.
His tyres are 8 laps old. My tyres are 20 laps old. That's why Checo is as fast as he is compared to us. We should just be okay for fuel. We're currently 0.11 laps over with 5 laps to go. We might have to fuel save a little bit on like the last lap just to make sure we make it. So as we round the top of the hill for the penultimate time, we will start our final lap. We'll see Sergio Perez, unfortunately for him, finish about 6th. But had he not had the damage and fallen back and needed the extra pit stop, then he would have been ahead of us anyway, just in 3rd rather than 6th. So P7 really was all we were fighting for once we got the poor start in the rain. But we've still maximised what was available to us, I think, after getting stuck behind Ocon, to have still made it 3 places further forward and made significant progress on other drivers and been quicker than other drivers as well. Like Max Verstappen, not been anywhere near us this Grand Prix weekend. 1 lap pace was his, but race pace has been all us.
Gap to car in front is
We're continually pulling away from him at the end of the Grand Prix here. And we have 0.02 laps worth of fuel remaining. 0.01 laps. We have nailed the fuel. Low fuel mode. I'm in low fuel mode about 100 meters before I cross the line.
Take care of the car on the way in.
Low fuel mode as we cross the line. That is fuel gauged to perfection. Our teammate gets driver of the day. Congratulations, Robert. Oh, there goes
That's a spectacular
someone.
victory
George, I
there,
think.
And with it, the
So, Valtteri Bottas wins the Grand Prix.
Performance at the Grand Prix, I'm
The
sure
gap was just 2 points at the
Now
top of the
let's take a look at
standings.
the driver's standings.
But I
4
believe
points for
that means
Valtteri
it's
Bottas,
raining again in the
further
background.
solidifying his lead
It means
at the top of the table.
Bottas is now
So, as
8
he
points
does,
clear
who
at the
would you
top of the
rank as your
table.
driver of the day?
Robert Schwartzman gets my vote today.
It's another
Robert
clear win
is
for Mercedes.
down in
They
13th
managed to secure
in the driver's standings.
constructors'
We're
title.
up in 7th.
Incredible
We're still ahead of
performance
Sergio
for
Perez,
the
even though he beat us in
And
this
with
Grand
that,
Prix
we
by
wrap up
3
another
points.
weekend of motorsport.
We're not really
With
going to
more
catch
races
Aston
lined
Martin, I
up,
don't think,
be
unless
sure
we
to
get
join
an
us when we
exceptional
come
result
back
in any of
with
the last
more
2 Grand
Formula
Prix.
One.
The gap's still 27 points to Aston Martin, who, to be fair, only scored the 2 points today, whereas we scored the 6. I think, yeah, just the 2 points as we scored the 6. So we could close the gap if Robert could get himself into bloody points and I could finish slightly higher than 7th, which we may well have done had we had a full dry race. We may well have done, but I'm not sure. We're equal there with the rivalry now because Max got the fastest lap. So as we head into the final 2 Grand Prix weekends, we're still equal with Max Verstappen as we head towards round 19 of Season 2 in Australia. Robert is nearly level 12. Feels like I've been stuck at level 13 forever. We didn't... Well, I'm sure we had more than 4 questions, didn't we? Or more than 3 at least. I'm sure we had 4. Never mind. Some damage deductions from Robert and myself, but we do get a boost to our financial status. We've got loads of resource points, loads of money, but still no word about departmental changes. Not departmental changes, about regulation changes. So we'll set our activities and we'll hope give me 60 resource points. We'll hope to get the opportunity.
On you, but we could do with your expertise on this one.
A journalist has just been in touch notifying us to their intent to publish an article that by the sounds of it isn't going to paint us in the best possible light. How shall we react? Divert resources towards an action plan we can quickly unveil to get ahead of the backlash? Or don't do anything? I'm just not going to do anything.
Thanks.
We don't need the team acclaim at the moment. I'd rather keep my
time to
resource points. So as we advance towards the Australian Grand Prix, still no word about regulation changes. So we think we're going to be okay
The
there.
marketing team wants to run this one past you.
That's going to cost me... Oh, I'm afraid we've had some bad news from inside the teams. Irresponsible social media messages. Again, I'm going to sacrifice the team acclaim. I want my resource points.
On that. Thanks for helping out.
We've lost quite a bit of team acclaim there, unfortunately, but hopefully we can earn that back. All of the upgrades going well. And we have 8,356 resource points available. £22.2 million available. Replace the gearbox. Yes, I wanted to do that anyway. Thank you for reminding me, game. Thank you, Joel and Andy and Georgia and David and Hibba Jibba for the follows as well, by the way. I appreciate it very much indeed. So, still, no word of regulation changes as we approach Australia, where we will have a dry quali and the rain will come right at the end of the Grand Prix. Right at the end of the Grand Prix. 88% chance of rain, right at the death. So it'll be dry for the majority, but we will get wet with the running at the end of the Australian Grand Prix. Last year, didn't have that much fun in Australia, to be honest. I'm actually going to have to put the new MGU-H in, but there's no penalty for that. And I might actually have to take a new turbo, which will give us a grid penalty. But I've got no choice, really. I need to put a new turbo in. So we will have a small grid penalty on Australia. Last year we finished 13th in Oz. And we finished 12th in Brazil. This year we finished 7th in Brazil. So hopefully we'll finish at least 8th in Australia. But with that grid penalty, who knows? Hopefully we could do it. I think my setup was a bit rubbish in Australia last year as well, but hopefully with sim racing setups, we should be much quicker. That will be all for this YouTube video. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Do drop the video a like rating if you've enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any more. And I'll see you in the next one, whether that be YouTube video or, of course, Twitch stream. Link in the description down below. I'll see you guys later.